I would like to sincerely thank the Delta Chamber of Commerce for their ongoing hard work in supporting our business community. You are and continue to be an integral part of this community. I would like to begin by recognizing the many initiatives undertaken by your council this past year, along with your very, very dedicated staff. I would also like to discuss Delta's 2011 financial plan, all of which I'm proud to report. 2010 was a big year for major infrastructure projects in Delta, and we were successful in receiving federal, provincial, and other stimulus funding of more than $23 million for infrastructure projects worth some $34 million in construction costs. And ladies and gentlemen, I think per capita we received more grant money than probably any other community that I'm aware of. The hard work that we put into these projects over the last 2 years, including going to Ottawa and Victoria with our staff, really paid off big time. We paid $1/3, and we're just very delighted to deliver those projects to Delta. And of those 12 projects, 4 are complete or substantially complete, and the rest are on schedule to meet the March 31st, 2011 deadline, and that was a proviso for those governments that we complete the projects by March 31st. Projects include, as probably many of you are aware, the Delta Archives and the Edgar Dunning Reading Room. That's completed and was opened. The Sun God Recreation Center expansion, wonderful facility for families. The new Delta Gymnastics facility, which will be opening, I'm not sure when, quite soon now, a few weeks from now. We're very excited about that one. The dike upgrades to Boundary Bay and Weston Island are now complete. The East Delta Pump Station, which is very close to being complete. The 80th Street overpass over to the airport, major for us. We're very happy about that one. The Ladner Trunk Force Main twinning, a vitally needed project. The 82nd Avenue revitalization is completed. Nordell Way and Annacis Island intersection safety improvements, and 3 flood protection projects. Those were all completed by your municipality. And I'm really, really proud of all our staff to have brought all of those in on time, on budget. As part of the province's BC Asia Pacific Trade and Investment Initiative, many of you will remember that Delta entered into an economic development partnership with Bangalore, India, and we continue to have long relationships and discussions with them by phone. We're hoping to have them here soon. We're not sure of the date yet. But last October, I traveled with our CAO, George Hardy, and our administrative assistant, Manjeet Kela, to Mangalore, where we met with government and business officials and our Chamber of Commerce, great people, to explore mutually beneficial economic synergies and opportunities between our 2 communities. That's going to be a very good, long-lasting relationship, I know. The annual Quality of Life Survey, we do this from time to time as a community, local government, to survey our residents to find out how they're feeling. It was conducted by Ipsos Reid, and the highlights, once again, show that people living in Delta are generally very satisfied with not only their quality of life, but the level of municipal services that we provide to them. Most residents consider they are getting good value for their municipal tax dollars, and that is good news to all of us. Delta's 2011 financial plan, as you know, we never stop planning for finances. We start early in the year. Council picks up the planning process probably late August into September, and we go right through till it's completed. In view of the challenging economy, I'm really proud to report that we have another year of strong fiscal management and a balanced budget, which of course is required. And the key considerations in the development of Delta's financial plan include our commitment to continually improve the community's infrastructure and provide top quality services to residents and businesses throughout our community, while also ensuring we do our very best to minimize the burden of property taxes. Now, despite the rising costs of goods and services, Delta has not incurred any new debt since 2003. And I report again out this year, as I did last year, that the debt management policy that I adopted along with our senior staff in 2002 and our council of the day has seen Delta reduce its debt over 68%, from a high of about $65 million down to $18 million in 2010. Our debt will be down to $13 million at the end of 2011, and we are expected to be debt-free in approximately 11 years. Ladies and gentlemen, that's quite unprecedented. That's a big, big payoff for us. And I guess if nothing else, it is a legacy that I'm very proud that we do have for this era, for your children, your families, your businesses, and well into the future. To be debt-free as a corporation is a great place to be. Now this year, our utility rates, you've all received your billings, I'm sure, like I did. 2011, the charges for water, sewer, garbage, and recycling services rose from $800 in 2010 to $860 this year. That was an increase of 7.5% for a single-family home. The $50 of the 60 is an increase which is going directly to Metro Vancouver for costs arising from the construction and the operation of that new water filtration system, which was mandated by the federal and provincial governments years ago, and upgrades to the large regional water and sewage facilities, which again are mandated by senior governments. This is, it's going to be difficult as we go into the future. We've got two very large sewer projects that have to be completed. And we aren't talking millions of dollars, we're talking the big billion-dollar mark here. Little Island and Lionsgate both have to be replaced. And that is up to the local regional government. We are already going forward to the federal and provincial governments, asking them to set aside monies for us, not today, but beginning in 3, 4, 5, 10 years, when they start putting money aside once again. Of the $60, the remaining $10 for utilities increase represents contractual obligations within Delta's operating costs for utilities. Now our property tax, and probably you have heard, a 2.98% property tax increase is being applied by Delta this year. It is one of the lowest in the region. We're happy about that. We're not happy about any increases. However, the impact on a typical home assessed at $536,000, that's an average assessed home, is about $55 in property tax increase for Delta's portion of the tax bill. As you are aware, approximately 40% of the total property tax that Delta collects goes to external agencies, including the Delta School District, Metro Vancouver, TransLink, BC Assessment, Municipal Finance Authority. Delta has no control over these levies. And it's sometimes difficult to accept when you look at the bottom line and you think, oh my gracious, this isn't all ours. But that's what we are mandated to do, and collect those property taxes on behalf of other levels of government. Of the 2.98% increase, 2.4% will be allocated to general services, while 0.5% will go to public safety to accommodate additional policing and emergency services in our community, and particularly police staffing. General Services Fund, a number of projects and services in Delta. They include engineering, public works, beautification programs, such as our hanging basket programs, parks, recreation, culture, many events that we host during the year, community library systems, bylaw enforcement, secondary suite regulation, emerging capital projects for 2011, such as the Boundary Bay Airport Servicing Plan, the Ladner Harbor Sediment Management, North Delta Community Building, development of a new Delta Community Animal Shelter, and a refurbishment of the South Delta Rec Center to transform the former Delta Gymnastics facility into a gymnasium for public use to meet the growing demand for a sports facility in this community, in this area. Now, just to touch on the South Fraser Perimeter Road for a moment, as you know, this is a provincial mandate. This is a provincial project, and we continue to meet and try to get the best we can out of the powers that be and strike the best deal we can, whether it's for the farmers or the commuters or whomever. With construction of the South Fraser Perimeter Road well underway, the Community Liaison Committee and a South Fraser Perimeter Road multi-stakeholder traffic advisory committee have been established by Gateway. We requested those a long time ago, and we're very happy at the results of those discussions that we have with the minister. These committees will sit with Delta staff to oversee the detailed completion of this project and provide updates to council. It is really based on the program that we suggested for Delta Port Third Berth, and the province has picked up that idea of having the community oversight, and the province anticipates with the concurrence of the community that the completion of the South Fraser Perimeter Road will be in December 2013. I believe that's ahead of schedule, if I recall correctly. A key concern raised by the business community and the Chamber of Commerce has been the province's downgrade from interchanges to intersections at the 80th Street connection at Tilbury and 96th Street in Tilbury. These were connection sites which we thought would be interchanges. The province has purchased property for that construction in the future. At this point in time, as you know, intersections are proposed. We have dealt with this issue time and again, trying to convince the province that we should be looking at interstate changes, and certainly support the Chamber in their efforts as well. On March 14th, just the other evening, Council also resolved that the Minister of Transportation be requested to respond to concerns of business owners in the Tilbury industrial area regarding the design of Highway 99 and the South Fraser Perimeter Road interchange. That is something that has come to the fore, and obviously the people in Tilbury are very concerned about that, as we are as well, and I'm sure the Chamber is. We are also very concerned with the lack of commitment from the province to undertake improvements now to the George Massey Tunnel. The build-out of Surrey and the anticipated additional population, along with additional container truck traffic, are rising from the proposed, recently announced development of Terminal 2, will have major impacts on tunnel traffic, and something must be done to address this issue. I will be requesting that our new Minister of Transportation and Highways, the Honourable Blair Leckstrom, be invited to make improvements to the George Massey Tunnel, a very critical priority for his government. You have my assurance, ladies and gentlemen, that I will continue to work very hard along with our staff, along with council, on behalf of all the residents, all the businesses of Delta, to lobby the provincial government for the South Fraser Perimeter Road interchanges to be built at the time of construction of the South Fraser Perimeter Road, and request a firm plan for improvements to the George Massey Tunnel. And we will continue to work with all levels of government, finding solutions to existing and emerging issues. A lot is going on in our community. A lot is going on in the Lower Mainland and indeed throughout the world. We deal with many large and small issues on a daily basis, and that's our pleasure to do so. I want to thank you very much for the opportunity to be here today and to speak to you, and I hope it has been useful. Thank you very much.